Thank you for joining us for segment number 2, which was actually supposed to be segment number 1 because I'm messing up. But Newgamingorder, this is our podcast for November 19th, 2015. And the first topic of the night is video game censorship. Now, what inspired me to cover this, and my cousin Goken was kind of hinting at that when we were offline. Okay, obviously Street Fighter V is around the corner, and a lot of changes occurred in terms of censoring certain angles, certain actions in the game, and it's just okay. More specifically, R.Mika and the butt slap into the double ultra tag team thingy. You got Cammy coming in for an intro, and they adjusted the angle because I guess they got a little bit too much crotch angle, so to speak. So, with that being said, it goes to just say, like, okay, Cammy, when she first appeared in Super Street Fighter 2 New Challengers, right? Nobody said anything. She was running around in a leotard for the longest time. Nobody said anything, right? You have Ivy from Soul Calibur. If that's not... That character is so dressed scantily clad, it's not even funny. You know what I mean? Like, well, maybe... I don't know if is it because Soul Calibur is not that popular in Street Fighter? But Street Fighter got put under that microscope of scrutiny because the ESRB folks were trying to give it a mature rating. So Capcom was hammered into dialing it down so that they can get that teen rating, maybe to appease Sony or to appease whomever. But I don't agree with the fact that, you know, it's a fighting game. Like, look at Dead or Alive. Look at Mortal Kombat. Yeah. You have a lot of things that are worse than what Street Fighter was doing, but yet all of a sudden, you know, the butt slap got angled or censored. So now all you hear is the slap on the cheek. And then the Cammy thing. I think that the company shouldn't be bullied because it wasn't anything pornographic. You know what I mean? I don't know what the big deal was, but I just wanted to get the panel's thoughts on this. So actually, I wanted to start with Shinwar. Shinwar, what are your thoughts on this? Because I know Maximilian did a piece on this last week or 2 weeks ago, but I honestly, my opinion, I don't agree with it. You know, because if Capcom bent like that to the will of these people complaining, probably won't even play the game. You know, what other companies be subjected to this? So, Shinwar, your thoughts?
At the end of the day, it really doesn't bother me. Like, I'm in it to fight other people. So, I mean, R.Mika's butt slap, it really doesn't bother me if it's in or if it's not. It looks like they were going for the teen rating, so obviously Capcom is trying to push the sales, so they probably felt like it was inappropriate. Some people are going to be for it, some people are not. I mean, if you're playing a game just to see this girl slap her butt, like, that's corny. Play the game. Just play the game. It doesn't matter if you can see it or not. But you do have people that don't know how to control themselves, so they're googly-eyed over R.Mika slapping a butt or Cammy coming in with a crotch shot. So, I mean, maybe it was Sony, and if we compare it to Dead or Alive, obviously Street Fighter per se is the king of fighting games, so they're trying to hold a certain standard. My thing is, if you put it in there originally, obviously you want to keep the game authentic. So obviously between whenever they announced it, we have all these changes. Even outside of that, the final product, apparently that's going to be the final product, it looks like. So it's whatever. You know, like I said, just play the game. I mean, if you're going around just doing that super all day just to see your butt slap, man, you got to check yourself and not the people that, you know what I'm saying, change the game. So.
Well, with that being said, like, folks got to understand, it's entertainment. Like, you know, Street Fighter has always been known to exaggerate, stereotypes in their product. So, I mean, everybody crying over something that, I mean, there's worse going on in the world, and then you want to complain about a butt slap and a crotch shot? Come on now. I mean, again, Shinwari made a good point. Just play the game. But I would say, you know, shout out to Mr. Pettiford, who's a friend of my buddy Cody. You know, he was entertained by this. You know what I mean? So it's just like, okay. You know, you go to a movie, see James Bond, somebody doesn't like something, it gets censored. Like, wow, really? Like, they gotta stop being so butthurt. But Shin Takuma, what are your thoughts?
If you're too busy looking at R.Mika's ass or Cammy crotch shot, you deserve to get your ass beat Street Fighter 5. Seriously, if you're too busy trying to get an angle, like Shit War said, if you're trying to get a good angle, you should be focused on blocking or trying to counter your opponent rather than trying to have an ass shot of a female character. Let's get it right. I mean, oh yeah, the characters they make, they do look kind of good and everything else whatnot. And some people are going to fantasize about this. I could understand where it plays into the whole concept of like somebody is going to want to emulate this in real life. That's why we have cosplayers or somebody would want to take it and do like a whole nasty spin on it. And it goes from there. So I understand why they gave it this team rating. I understand why they wanted to scale back. Everybody understands that. You know, the people who were griping and complaining about it, you know, to them it's like they have no morals. You know, they just have no morals.
That's not true.
Like, why they change it? Everything else was not. You know, not everybody's gonna look at that like that. But if you're looking at that like, oh, they shouldn't have changed everything else, well, not and everything else. But if you're gonna change it, make that channel. If you're gonna make the channel change, then you should do it down the line from games on in, especially games like Dead or Alive or any other game that has females with these sex appeal outfits and everything else and whatnot. I mean, hey, it kind of started with Chun-Li really, and then probably go back more further than Chun-Li. Look at Mai Shinarui from
No, Chun-Li predated her.
I mean,
yeah.
Everything all was just bouncing. So if you're gonna change it from the whole thing. But that's all I got on it.
But you see, before I give Gokin the floor, let's try not to focus on just the acts in the game. It's more or less like, okay, it's entertainment. It's not like they were. I felt that they weren't crossing any lines. You know, if every little thing they're being super hypersensitive about, it's like, oh well, damn. Like, you see me growing up in the 80s and 90s, people weren't that sensitive to things. You know, and now you come here like, oh, I'm offended by this, I'm offended by that, and everybody has a voice to, well, how we say, bitch and complain because of social media and all these outlets. It's like, come on now, like, you know, there's some things where people have to just toughen the hell up or just like develop better tolerance. You know what I mean? Exactly. You know. So, cousin, what are your thoughts on that? And
all right, so it's very interesting. A lot of you guys have the same opinion about it, and I agree to the point that it doesn't matter about the TV or whatever, right? But when I first saw the content, I didn't think the content was bad. I thought it was funny that they did a butt slap or whatever. Like, what's wrong with that in particular? I thought it was a cool taunt. If it's somebody playing with the character, someone gets beat by her, it's funny that she does that. You know, she's doing all the stuff around. Like, I think it's hilarious that she's doing that stuff around the ring. But the biggest issue that I have with it, and it has nothing to do with like, oh, I want to gawk at the women in the game or whatever. Is once you start allowing this little bit of censorship and creativity and art and things like that, it's only going to get worse, right?
That's why
for whatever reason, there is some super hypersensitivity going on in the world, especially when it comes to the feminism. But feminists, I would probably disagree with the censorship of it. I mean, because it's accentuating women, and not everyone has super exaggerated big butts or all that stuff. You know, like I don't know. It's a weird thing, right? The censorship part is what gets me. You know, what I don't like is when people have something, they designed it comes out, and then they have to go change it for a smaller majority than whatever. Like, if you designed something, keep it the way you designed it. That's the way you wanted it to be. For whatever reason, you had it that way. You know, like I feel like it's a step in the wrong direction, because what's going to happen now, that everything that comes out is going to be censored in some type of way, shape, or form now, and it's proven that now, it's starting to prove that I don't know who the people are or whatever associations are out there are starting to win in a situation where, like Alex mentioned earlier, that some of these people won't even probably play the game. You get what I'm saying? Which is the messed up part. But I guess the most important part is that they got to voice their word or whatever. But it's just such a weird thing. Why is there so much hypersensitivity to everything?
The world has changed, guys.
Everything. It's not just like video games. It's almost everything.
Oh yeah, everybody, the whole world got kind of real sensitive about everything. Yes, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, it's getting bad. So now, like everything is not fucking unicorns and Barney. Like it's not. The world's not like that. You know, there's fucking good. There's fucking bad. It's been like that since the beginning of fucking time. You know,
it's social media, man.
Yeah, but social media is it has good and bad. It's a freedom of speech, right, and freedom of expression. It's freedom of expression of your art or whatever it is that you do. Like it's just crazy. It is insane. Like now people are not going to get content because you have to worry about it being censored all the time or whatever. Like
yeah, I know. And you got games like Mortal Kombat where they're cutting people's heads off and cutting females in half. You know.
We go to the movies every day. You go to the movies every day, and all the movies are some type of violence or whatever. And there's some movies that are fluffy. If you like the fluffy movie, go watch the fluffy movie. If you don't like the violent movie, then you don't go watch the violent movie. So if you don't like the shit in the game, like Mortal Kombat, then don't play Mortal Kombat. You know? I don't know. It's a weird place. I agree. It doesn't matter in the fighting game. So it's a fighting game. So why does it matter so much as well? You know, like it's a weird fucking thing. It's
now, how often is
they're not even real human beings? It has no bearing or effect on the kid or anybody that's playing the game. None. It's a weird thing.
Okay, so moving on. I see Kasemi joined while I was out. So, Khalif, what are your thoughts on the topic?
Well, shit, I don't even know what the topic is, man. Well, I just hopped in. I just heard people talking about butts being slapped.
Okay, matter of fact. Alright, hold on.
I thought we was on the uncut version or something.
Alright, because you see, I was trying to go in order by who's in the chat, but let me skip around. Let me go to On Your Knees next, and then once you hear his responses, you'll get caught up to speed. But yes, Chris, what are your thoughts?
Well, we're talking about the Capcom censorship, right?
Or just in general with gaming. Like,
yeah, well, it's the puritanical ways of the American way of life. You know, we are descended from a bunch of people who were so uptight the British kicked them out to steal a joke from what's his face who died, Robin Williams. But yeah, we love our violence. Movies are more violent than ever, but we hate sex. You know, you can't show a naked boob, but you can show it getting sliced off. So, and you gotta fight every battle that you can, because if you give them a little inch, they're gonna take that much more from you. That's why you gotta attack every opportunity that this shit happens. You can't let the SJW bullies take over everything, because these people have always existed, but now for whatever reason, because of social media, they think their voice carries weight because people capitulate. Just look at all the nonsense with the college kids. Woe is me, I'm being oppressed. Someone said the N-word. Oh, I'm going to starve myself. Yet my daddy's a 20 millionaire railroad tycoon. What the fuck? Seriously.
Yeah. He's right. He's right.
That kid's the son of a multi-millionaire, and he's like complaining about race. You know, he's dropping N-bombs with all of his friends, but one white person allegedly says it's the end of the fucking world. Grow thick skin. You ain't gonna survive in the real world at this rate.
On that, it's like that's probably a podcast for another day, but it's just,
that's an off gaming topic, but that's a whole.
Yeah, but you know what? And I've heard a lot of
pop off. Yes, pop off.
A lot of black speakers who say, "Hey, you know what? Why you get mad when certain people use it within a culture? Then somebody on the outside is like, oh, okay, just don't use it." I've never been. But again, that'll turn into a whole other topic.
Yeah, but so back on point, there's also, I was thinking about not buying it, even though it was the reason I bought the Wii, the Xenoblade X. They're censoring that. People are upset about some localization changes, which I actually fine with, because it's more getting rid of the English.
I just saw that game for the Nintendo Wii U.
Yeah, and they're also removing the boob slider on female avatars when you on the creator character, so you can't bump up the boob size anymore. In the American version, so I'm gonna have to hack my Wii so I could get that in there, because I'm sure it's buried in the code somewhere. It's just
I'm sure you want to get it in somewhere, Chris. Continue.
Folks gonna pop
You
off.
lack discipline.
That was the wrong thing. God damn it. God damn it. I should have. That was actually a good one. You got me good there, Alex. I got to give you credit.
All
no,
the times you were getting me, I had to get you back.
I know, right? Well, that's all right. There's some
dawn
insults I can
strikes.
save for later.
Alex.
All right.
Here,
So
there you go. Is that what you want, Alex?
Yes, absolutely. We should do a combo every time you get me and I get you on. You know? All right. So moving on. Yeah, moving on. Demizzle, free play mode. What are your thoughts on the topic?
For Shin Raven, it's Xenoblade X Chronicles I'm talking about on the Wii U. It's coming out in December 2nd. It's actually coming out very soon.
Okay.
I'm of two thoughts on this. The first thought is I agree with Chris in that we shouldn't give in to the social justice warriors out there crying about every little thing. Because if you let people like that gain a foothold, they're just going to take a mile and it's just going to be like, okay. But then the other mind is like, you look at a game like Soul Calibur, and then you look at a game like Dead or Alive, and those are mature rated titles, and for very good reason, because you got the boob physics and you got the ass physics and all that stuff. And that really has never been in Street Fighter because they want to appeal to a broader market. Dead or Alive and Soul Calibur are mature rated titles, so only people 17 and up can buy them. Whereas Street Fighter is a teen rated title, and anyone 13 and up can buy that title. So they want to get more people in their house, so to speak, and they don't want to cut off their audience because, contrary to popular belief, you as a child, if you're a kid under the age of 17, you can't walk into a Best Buy or a GameStop or wherever and buy a video game without getting carded because they do check IDs. So that's where that comes from.
What if they're desperate for sales and they gotta make quota or something? And I wish Nuke stayed on for tonight. I know we started a bit late, but I'm pretty sure he
even when I worked at Electronic Boutique back in the day when I was in college, we checked IDs. No matter how many sales we had or anything, we still checked IDs. And if you weren't old enough, you weren't getting the game unless your parent came in and got it for you. And that was a very rare thing. So I can understand why it was done, but I do agree with Chris that we shouldn't let social justice warriors have their say in another person's art.
If they're not even enjoying it, I have to, before I turn the floor to Khalif, I agree with Maximilian in saying that Capcom made the wrong move and actually caving in, because from now on, they're always going to be expected to cave in. So, with that being said, Khalif, what are your thoughts on the matter? It's basically R.Mika and Cammy. They had some suggestive, angles showing the female anatomy, but it wasn't anything major. But
I seen it. I actually seen the new character. I forgot her name. The wrestler character. I seen a comparison showing just like the angles. It wasn't really nothing different. She didn't do anything different. Just the camera angling. So I mean, on that point, it didn't seem like much of a big deal. But as a broad, just looking at this as a whole, I can't help but think that there's a bit of a double standard going on with how sex is looked at in gaming versus sex looked at in in other entertainment. Because I think about like the shows that are on TV right now. Like there's a show on Discovery Channel that they're basically trying to survive, like no clothes. You're just dropped off somewhere butt ass naked, and this is daytime TV. You know what I'm saying? You got naked people on TV. You got MTV. They got a show Dating Naked is on MTV.
Dating
and I mean, there's a show on MTV called Dating Naked. And they literally date naked, like they go on a first time date and they're just naked, nude, and it's like that type of shit is on daytime TV now, and we all know kids watch MTV and shit like that, so that's where I get the double standard, because you got all that stuff on TV, and like I said, naked people all over the place, and we already discussed how violence is in movies and TV shows. Walking Dead is hands down one of the most violent TV, and you don't even really have to stay up late or nothing to catch it. So these things on TV for kids to see. If this was such a big deal, then why aren't those things removed off TV? But the thing is, the double standard is it's gaming in general. I think gaming is still viewed as a kid's thing, like a children's thing. Gaming just doesn't seem like people take it serious. People take gaming serious, but it's still looked at as a children's hobby.
It doesn't have an addict either.
Yeah, which it shouldn't be, because it's an $80 billion industry.
And when you preaching to the choir, But the thing is, at the end of the day, these games, are games, and you don't look at games like you look at movies. Well, the general public don't look at games like they look at movies, because they consider them toys. They consider them children's things. They're the new form of entertainment. Like, you have like A-list actors. The guy from Castle played one of the Spartans. You got the other one from Real Husbands of Hollywood, the
guy.
And I agree. You got Angela Bassett in Rainbow Six. You got fucking Kevin Spacey in in Call of Duty. You got all gaming. We understand, and this is the thing. Like, I'm just telling y'all how I see it. I don't necessarily agree with it, but this is what's going on. The censorship is going to continue to be more strict for gaming because of the fact of people looking at it as a children's thing. People, the people that are outside of the realm, not typical, they're not real, gamers, and not part of the community. They still look at games as a children's thing. They don't think that gaming has grown up with the kids that actually grew up with it. So that the censorship is going to continue to be this way. I think forever, because games are always going to be looked at as toys and not as real,
form of entertainment.
Exactly, and that's unfortunate.
But you know what?
It's the media at large too, because they're the ones that perpetuate this image. They choose not to do the research and see what it's all about, because they have to sell things, and they're aiming for that audience that's in their 70s now, that are going to be keeling over, because they know as soon as they go, their audience is dead.
Exactly.
Literally, their audience is dead. That was a unintentional pun.
But it's a double standard, man. It's a double standard going on, and it's not going to change anytime soon.
Yeah, it'll change. Within the next 20 years, it'll change, because the people they're targeting, they won't be around anymore. Yeah, they won't be around anymore.
Okay.
Because
Now with that,
mass media at large is going away too, because everyone's doing internet entertainment, so their days are numbered.
Okay. Now, with that, Nelson, bring us home, man. What are your thoughts on the censorship topic? Was Capcom wrong in caving in? And by them doing this, could that lay down a pattern or a trend for the rest of this company?
All right, here's my honest opinion about it. I don't give a fuck. You want to censor it? Go ahead. It does not change the core mechanics of what I am in for. Just because of the fact that you don't see a simple butt slap or a crotch shot doesn't mean the game is over. If you guys dictate it to the point where you really need those two aspects back in the game that badly, just for you to feel, electrified to play your matches, then you're just a sad person, and you should just go on the internet.
Oh my God, F-snack, yes.
You should just go on the internet where there's nothing but oversaturated porn of ass smacking everywhere. So, no, I don't think to see this as a tremendous downfall, but the censorship happens because it could be like from a company standpoint where, as you was mentioning, it's one of the known fighting games and popular, and you're wanting to make sure nothing bad happens to it.
Yes.
Alex. Shh.
Oh, sorry about that.
Alright, so there's not gonna ruin it in that aspect to the point where the game's credibility is going to get ruined. Even though you have Dead or Alive, which is known for its bouncy jiggle physics, and you have other fighting games like Rumble Roses took a part in this, which is for the Xbox 360, a wrestling game for people who don't know. And what's another jiggle physics game? You have a bunch of
Metal Gear. So
what happens? What happens?
Hold on,
when people decide that the next game, they no more dying. We don't want to see people die in the game. So whenever you're fighting something, the players just lay down on the ground, and the whole game you're swinging a sword, but nothing actually happens with the sword. Doesn't the game now suck?
No. No, it does not. It's just the fact that you're changing a win style pose or a victory pose just to is that all? See, but the thing is, that's all you care about is like literally that little slight nudity factor to get like a butt cheek. I mean, it's not that serious, guys.
I agree with you, but I'm talking about
Hold on. Shut up.
I'm just trying to say what happens when everything starts to get censored, right? Capcom makes a lot of different things, and now because and I get it, it's not a big thing with this game. What I'm saying is the implications of a group or people being able to force a company to censor things means that they can
slippery slope,
right? It means they can continue to do it. So I mean, what if this becomes the norm across the industry, and all of our games that we are so used to playing or watching things get destroyed, or things dying, the shooting.
This time it's a butt slap, but next time it may be a
okay. I'll put it
a bullet in the head.
I'll put it this way. I'll put it this way, just like how I explained it on a previous offline topic. If you're not putting money towards the game or the company, you have no say in the matter.
Nelson, I disagree with you. I disagree with you.
Because
you know why? Because if we are investing into it.
No, you're investing into one single copy of the game that helps their growth. Help their growth in a small minor bit. You're not helping towards the financial of the back of the company. You're not helping towards their yearly quota with the staff. You're not paying for everything. You're just paying for one disc that's to own that you can't modify. But yet you're gonna get upset when something's not in. Then just start up a Kickstarter, just like they did with Shenmue. Put your process in there, then shit will get heard. But you're not gonna get it heard just by word of mouth. They don't care no more. That's why they do whatever the hell they want and whatever the fans say. You don't give a fuck. You serious?
I disagree now.
All right, so if you disagree, then why there's not that many characters in Street Fighter V? Why there's not their own versions of the stages with their own music? When everyone has been saying it. No. Let's be real.
You can't make it extreme.
No. Let's be real.
No, I'm hearing you out, but hear me out too. What I'm saying is, you saying, wait, hey, you know what? We don't have a say. We're the fucking consumers. We have the right to complain. And whatever.
So you have the right to complain.
Then, hold on. And then we can complain, and like you said, we can choose not to fucking buy it. But to say that we don't have a say, that's wrong. Because as a consumer, we always have a say.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say is, you see how you just said you have a say? That still doesn't mean shit if the company does not care what you say. That's what I'm trying to get a point. Like, if you're not putting money towards the back of your words, it's not going nowhere. They want money.
No, but look what happened to Street Fighter Cross Tekken. We spoke out about that, and look, that game is freaking dead. And Capcom was so messed up because of the financial investment that they thought that game was gonna pull in some microtransaction with gems and all that Capcom was almost in ruin. They were almost in ruin. So don't say that we don't matter, because when we stopped giving them money, they were on the verge of collapse.
But the thing is, it wasn't really about money. It was the fact that we was bitching and complaining about things being overpowered or being overused, and they didn't want to hear it, so they just stopped altogether. They was like, "Oh, you're not gonna give us like how much?" What they said, like 2.5 million. Ono said, in order for them to come out with an update patch. No one did nothing. It was like, forget it.
Yeah, that was yeah.
It was like, forget it. You know.
How many people in the first month started returning their copies of Cross Tekken or trading them off, and so on and so forth? That's just an isolated incident. Look at what's that? The Arkham Knight with the PC. Even after they waited. Still
busted.
Yeah, but
and they got full. full refund.
But
So we have the same.
just as on your niece said, don't buy the game when it first came out. Wait a little while to see what's going on with all these updates, because honestly, everyone should be caught up by now in this generation that every game is going to be fucked up. I don't give a shit what time frame that you was born. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter if you get the game early. Oh, it's broken. Oh, I'm gonna give it back to GameStop. That's on you. That's your dumbass fault for assuming the game was finished. You should know by now that every game is incomplete. You get nothing but patch updates. You get severe memory loss when it comes to patches now. Like, just recently, Halo 5 had a 6.5 gigabyte patch for no fucking reason. And they said, "Oh, it's just stability issues." Are you serious? So,
but not veering off too far with the censorship thing.
I don't see it to be a big enough of a deal. You're still gonna play the game for what it is, and for what Goken has mentioned, if they start making this a worldwide thing where every game starts to become censorship, I guess that's the new thing that we're gonna have to follow upon, unless if we put money towards it not to work. Because again, word to mouth is not always gonna get through to these companies. If you're not putting anywhere in the millions, they're gonna look at you and laugh.
You know what? I wish if I ever hit the lottery, I would do an independent video gaming studio and do my own shit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? In
Exactly.
my mind, even with my independent fighting games and the platformers and the stuff that the New Gaming Order NMO didn't even know I was working on, that was always like, hey, I want to control my art. Me as an artist, like 2D artist, gaming artist, and whatnot, is just.
All right, and then
no one's
there,
gonna tell me to censor my stuff or how.
And then
to put my stuff out there. You know what I'm saying?
Then right there just answered my question than what I just phrased to you. You see how you said that you would rather have your own so nothing will be corrupted, you could do things your way? You just answered the whole question. So in the same sense, you're telling that company, which is Capcom, to change the way how they're doing certain particular things, again, from word of mouth, and they may not agree with you. They might not agree with the enormous fan base that they have. Unless, if money is put out and it's a severe issue, then things will finally change. Until then, everyone's like, oh, I'm not going to put money towards that. Why should I? I want everything for free. Well, this is what you guys get. That's it.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, vote with your wallet. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. But this kind of ran a little longer than expected. But to bring this to a close, make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on Newgamingorder.com, where we'll put the director's cut, where we'll get all the topics in one. All right. So again, if you want to be on this show and check us out, we're using Discord for the foreseeable future, so it's easier to get people in as guests on the show. All right. So with that being said, Nelson, you have anything to say before we go into intermission?
Well, I'm just gonna cut it, go to intermission, and I want everyone in the group. I'll say it when the intermission. All right, guys, we're gonna cut into a short intermission.